You might think 1950s American cars were nothing but oversized land yachts, heavy, flashy, dripping with chrome, built for comfort, but dead slow when you actually put your foot down. Think again. Hiding behind those shiny grills and sweeping fins were real sleeper beasts. Machines that looked like dignified boulevard cruisers, yet packed brutal V8 power, waiting to surprise anyone foolish enough to challenge them. In this video, we're revealing 12 little-known American sleepers from the 1950s, each with its own hidden story of raw muscle, clever engineering, and that underground racing spirit only true car guys ever appreciated. So don't look away. This list might just change the way you see classic American steel forever, and prove that sometimes the quietest cars had the loudest hearts. Stick around and let's uncover these legends together. Number 12. 1956 Lincoln Premier. Now let's kick things off with something that would fool just about anyone at first glance. The 1956 Lincoln Premier was built to impress dignitaries and big shots, long, wide, and dripping with chrome from every angle. It was the very definition of mid-century American luxury, with power everything, windows, seats, even a push-button lubrication system so you didn't have to get your hands dirty. Inside, it was plush leather and enough shiny trim to blind you on a sunny day. But here's the twist. Beneath that stately exterior lurked a 368 cubic inch V8, pumping out a solid 285 horsepower, enough grunt to hustle over 4,300 pounds of steel down the highway in just over 10 seconds to 60 miles per hour. For the era, that was genuinely quick, especially for something most people thought was built just to glide along in presidential motorcades. The big Y-block V8 wasn't just about raw power either. It was smooth and durable, paired with a turbo-drive automatic that delivered silky shifts, whether you were easing through traffic or pushing past 90 miles per hour. It was the ultimate in quiet confidence, a true sleeper for anyone who appreciated that a car didn't need stripes or scoops to be seriously quick. If you knew, you knew. And if you didn't, well, you'd only realize once it was too late. Number 11, 1950 Oldsmobile Rocket 88. Now, if you thought that big Lincoln was subtle, wait till you see what Oldsmobile did in 1950. On paper, the Rocket 88 looked like any other post-war family sedan. Wide grille, clean lines, nothing flashy, just the sort of car you'd see parked outside a diner, hauling the kids home. But this unassuming shell was ground zero for a revolution. Under the hood sat the 303 cubic inch Rocket V8, one of the earliest overhead valve designs, delivering 135 horsepower. A huge deal when most rivals ran flathead sixes. That might not sound monstrous today, but back then, it meant real speed. Add in Oldsmobile's smooth, high-dramatic transmission and a relatively light body, and you had a factory-built street brawler that could do 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 12 seconds. Seriously quick for 1950. But the Rocket 88 wasn't just quick at stoplights. It took NASCAR by storm, winning 10 of 19 Grand National races in its debut season and leaving competitors scrambling to keep up. No racing stripes, no spoilers, just a small rocket badge hinting at the beast within. It was the ultimate early sleeper, a family car outside, a hot rod at heart. Hot rodders, moonshiners, and speed junkies fell in love, knowing they could leave it stock or build it wilder and blow the doors off almost anything else on the road. Number 10. 1957 Mercury Turnpike Cruiser. If you want a car that practically screamed space age the second you laid eyes on it, the The 1957 Mercury Turnpike cruiser delivered in spades. Mercury wasn't shy about showing off. Razor-sharp fins, a wild breezeway rear window that dropped for airflow, and push-button everything, from the transmission to the heater controls. It felt like piloting a rolling sci-fi set. Buyers loved the futuristic styling and all the luxury touches that made you feel like a captain of industry. But while everyone was busy admiring the chrome and gadgets, they missed what really mattered. This thing could flat-out move. Beneath all that showy trim sat a 368 cubic inch V8 borrowed straight from Lincoln, churning out 290 horsepower and an impressive 405 pound-feet of torque. That wasn't just for bragging rights. It meant this massive cruiser could hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 10 seconds. No small feat in the late 50s for a car tipping the scales at over 2 tons. The ride was classic American luxury, smooth, quiet, and cushy. But stomp the pedal, and the Turnpike cruiser would surge forward with a growl that left sleeker, sportier cars stunned. That was the real magic. Owners were too busy playing with push-button gadgets to notice they had a beast lurking under the hood. It was Mercury's way of proving you could have every bit of style and luxury without sacrificing raw muscle. A true sleeper wrapped in chrome-plated space-age glory. Number 9. 1959. Pontiac Catalina. Don't be fooled by its clean, date-night ready looks. The 1959 Pontiac Catalina was far more dangerous than most people realized, especially if you knew how to order it. At first glance, it was the ideal full-size American cruiser for the drive-in. Sweeping lines, gleaming chrome, and a big, comfortable interior, perfect for taking your best girl out on Saturday night. But beneath that polished, polite exterior lurked a factory option that transformed it into a true street predator. The Tri-Power 389 cubic inch V8. This setup used 3 two-barrel carburetors to deliver up to 345 horsepower, creating a smooth but relentless surge of power across the rev range. When paired with the optional 4-speed manual and Pontiac's upgraded handling package, your big family cruiser could blast through the quarter mile in the low 15-second range, quick enough to embarrass many so-called sports cars of the day. And yet, from the sidewalk, you'd never know. Bench seats, AM radio, just a subtle hint from the twin tailpipes out back that this wasn't your average Sunday driver. The Catalina with Tri-Power didn't shout for attention with flashy stripes or wild scoops. It whispered its intentions to those who paid attention. This car laid the foundation for Pontiac's legendary GTO just a few years later, proving that serious muscle could live inside an elegant, unassuming package. It was the very definition of a sleeper, the kind of car you underestimated until it left you staring at its taillights, wondering what just happened. Number 8. 1953. Buick Skylark. Let's talk about a car that mixed style and muscle so well, even the cops took notice. The 1953 Buick Skylark looked perfect for the country club driveway, but beneath all that graceful chrome was something far more serious. Buick stuffed it with their biggest engine, a 322 cubic inch nailhead V8, making 188 horsepower. Impressive for the early 50s. The nailhead's vertical valve design delivered loads of low-end torque, giving this gentleman's convertible surprising launch when you floored it. With a tighter wheelbase and less bulk than the Roadmaster, it was nimble and quick off the line. Paired with the smooth Dynaflow automatic, it offered a refined ride with real speed on tap. Its performance didn't just wow buyers, it caught law enforcement's eye. Police departments used it as an early high-speed Interceptor, knowing it could chase down speeders on open highways. Hot rodders loved that nailhead too, pulling it for custom builds and early drag racing. The Skylark proved you didn't need racing stripes or loud pipes to be dangerous. It was classy, sophisticated, but ready to bare its teeth if pushed, earning its place as one of the true sleeper legends of the 1950s. Number 7, 1957, Ford Custom 300 Police Interceptor. Now, if you want to talk about true undercover muscle, look no further than the 1957 Ford Custom 300 Police Interceptor. On the outside, it was as plain as they came, a no-frills fleet sedan you'd see as a taxi or parked at the county offices. Nothing flashy here, but for those who checked the right boxes, Ford offered the Police Interceptor package, dropping in a 312 cubic inch Y-block V8, making around 300 horsepower when properly equipped. Add a 4-barrel carburetor, dual exhaust, and heavy-duty cooling, and you suddenly had a car that could hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 9 seconds, a real feat for the time. Police departments loved it, using it to chase down speeders and criminals who never saw it coming. And that was the beauty of it. No big fins, no loud paint, just a basic sedan hiding a serious attitude. Civilian buyers could technically order the same setup, though few did. But those who knew what they were getting ended up with one of the best sleepers of the era, a family car that could double as a street brawler. It was the perfect example of quiet power, the ultimate undercover cop car that proved looks could be deceiving. Number 6, 1954 Hudson Hornet Special. Now let's talk about a car that looked like it belonged on a quiet Sunday drive, but was really bred to dominate the track. The 1954 Hudson Hornet Special was the very definition of deceptive power. On the outside, it had smooth, understated curves and modest trim, nothing to make you think it was anything but a gentle cruiser. But under the hood lay Hudson's legendary 308 cubic inch inline 6, equipped with twin H-power carburetors, pushing out up to 210 horsepower, massive for a flathead 6 in the mid-50s. Hudson's innovative step-down chassis gave it a lower center of gravity and tighter handling than just about anything else on the road, letting it carve corners and stay planted at speed. This wasn't just theory either. The Hornet built its reputation in NASCAR, taking wins and leaving V8-powered rivals scrambling to keep up. Drivers loved its balance and torque-rich engine, making it as capable on back roads as it was on the oval. But to the untrained eye, it was just another Hudson, a smooth, plush ride that didn't shout for attention. That was its genius. The Hornet Special was a true sleeper, hiding race-winning DNA beneath its calm exterior and proving that real power doesn't always need to advertise itself. Number 5, 1958 Dodge D500. If you thought full-size meant slow and soft, Dodge had a surprise waiting in 1958. On the surface, the Dodge D500 looked like every other late 50s land yacht. Long body, towering fins, chrome for days. It was the picture of family cruising respectability. But order the D500 package and you unlocked serious muscle. A 361 cubic inch V8 with dual 4-barrel carbs pushing out 320 horsepower. That wasn't just for show. Paired with a Torque Flight automatic or optional 3-speed manual, the D500 could rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 9 seconds, quick enough to make even a Corvette driver sweat at the lights. And yet visually, it gave nothing away. No racing stripes, no scoops, no aggressive stance, just a massive gleaming cruiser hiding a real street brawler underneath. It was Dodge's quiet nod to their NASCAR ambitions, offering everyday buyers a slice of race-bred engineering. You could also spec it with heavy-duty brakes, upgraded suspension, and performance axle ratios to turn this big cruiser into a truly capable machine. The D500 was the perfect sleeper, a family car that could haul the kids in style during the week, then embarrass sports cars on the weekend without ever breaking a sweat. Number 4. 1957 Dodge Adventurer. If you wanted to turn heads with style, but also leave them in the dust, the 1957 Dodge Adventurer was your ticket. At first glance, it was pure class. A two-tone paint job, gold anodized trim, and a plush interior that looked tailor-made for executives. It oozed mid-century American luxury from every angle. But beneath all that upscale polish lurked something far more sinister. A factory Hemi V8 displacing 345 cubic inches and delivering an eye-popping 345 horsepower right out of the box. That kind of 1-to-1 cubic inch to horsepower ratio was rare air in 1957. Paired with Chrysler's smooth torque flight automatic, the Adventurer had the straight-line punch to hang with Corvettes and Thunderbirds, while looking like it had no interest in racing at all. It was the ultimate bait and switch. Elegant on the outside, brutal when you buried the pedal. Only about 1,950 were built that year, making it a rare find even back then. Most people remembered the styling, the gold accents, the high-end details. But the real story was its Hemi heart, ready to deliver serious speed at a moment's notice. The Adventurer proved that true muscle could wear a tuxedo and still throw a knockout punch when challenged. Number 3. 1956 Studebaker Golden Hawk. Here's a car that proved sophistication and raw speed could ride side by side. The 1956 Studebaker Golden Hawk was all style at first glance. Sharp two-tone paint, elegant chrome accents, and a sporty hardtop design that looked right at home in any upscale neighborhood. But Studebaker had a trick up its sleeve. Under that classy exterior lay a Packard 352 cubic inch V8, pumping out 275 horsepower, a serious number for the mid-50s. With a curb weight just over 3,300 pounds, it boasted one of the best power-to-weight ratios around, hitting 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 9 seconds. Quick enough to embarrass Corvettes and Thunderbirds at the lights. And it wasn't just about straight-line speed. The Golden Hawk came with a full set of gauges, a sporty feel, and even optional overdrive for better highway cruising. But the best part? It didn't scream performance. There were no stripes, no scoops, no showy claims, just clean lines and confident attitude. It was the perfect gentleman's hot rod, refined enough to impress at dinner, but ready to put lesser cars in their place when the light turned green. A true sleeper that let its V8 do the talking. Number 2, 1955 Chrysler 300. The 1955 Chrysler C300 didn't just look like executive transport. It was the original letter car that packed real racing pedigree under its elegant skin. At first glance, it was all business. Pillarless hardtop styling, clean lines, tasteful chrome. But this car was built to dominate, both on the street and on the track. Under the hood sat a 331 cubic inch firepower Hemi V8 cranking out 300 horsepower, making it the most powerful American production car of its year. That power wasn't just for bragging rights. Paired with Chrysler's PowerFlight automatic and firm suspension, the C300 could hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 8 seconds and run the quarter mile in the high 15s. performance numbers that challenged Corvettes and left most sedans gasping for air. It wasn't some stripped-down hot rod either. Inside, you got leather bucket seats, full instrumentation, and an upscale vibe that made you feel like you were piloting something special. But it was on the NASCAR circuit where the C300 truly earned its legend, winning the 1955 Grand National Championship and proving that luxury and speed could share the same badge. It was a real sleeper in a tailored suit, refined, powerful, and ready to humble anything that dared to line up next to it. Number 1. 1957 Rambler Rebel. If there was ever a car that defined the sleeper formula before it was even popular, the 1957 Rambler Rebel nailed it. On the outside, it was pure understatement. A clean, conservative four-door sedan that looked like something the high school principal might drive. But AMC had other plans. They stuffed it with a 327 cubic inch V8, good for 255 horsepower. Serious muscle for its day, especially in a body that weighed just over 3,300 pounds. The result? This unassuming family hauler could rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 7.5 seconds, making it one of the fastest American sedans of the 1950s. It didn't need stripes, scoops, or aggressive styling to prove a point. There was no hint of its performance potential beyond a small badge on the fender and the twin pipes out back. Most people had no idea what it was capable of until it left them behind at the light. The Rebel proved you didn't need to shout to go fast. It offered raw power, practical comfort, and a price that made speed accessible. Though it only lasted a year in this form, it set the stage for decades of stealth performance. It was the quiet menace, the car that made you respect what might be hiding behind an ordinary face. These cars proved the 1950s weren't just about chrome, tail fins, and flashy looks. They were also the birth of true sleeper cars, where real power was hidden beneath unassuming exteriors for those passionate enough to seek it out. Which of these underrated machines stands out most to you? Do you have your own memories, stories, or secret sleepers you want to share? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so we can keep uncovering more legendary cars together, where every push of the gas pedal tells a story waiting to be heard.